Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Performance Management: Key Strategies and Practical Guidelines, by Michael Armstrong. Performance Management versus Performance Appraisal. Performance management is quite different from performance appraisal, even though some people believe the terms are interchangeable. Performance appraisal usually consists of a yearly review, during which the discussion tends to focus on those areas where the employee falls short. The manager does not provide much positive feedback. Performance appraisal traditionally is a function of the human resources department, which makes little sense, since line managers are usually in the best position to evaluate workers. Performance appraisals can cause resentment for several reasons. 1. Rating systems are often inflexible. 2. The process allows little give and take. 3. Pay raises frequently depend on positive evaluations. 4. Many managers consider performance appraisals a giant waste of time. Performance is a matter not only of what people achieve, but how they achieve it. In contrast, performance management is an ongoing process, not an annual event. It takes into account an employee's human qualities, focuses on improving future efforts and uses flexible ratings. Employees can openly discuss and even challenge an evaluation without fear of reprisal. Moreover, salary increases are not solely dependent on the outcome of the performance management process. Performance management involves encouraging people to take charge of their own performance. Performance management demands that supervisors develop above-average people skills. In performance appraisal, supervisors can hide behind their forms. All they have to do is check boxes and assign ratings. In contrast, performance management requires them to discuss strengths and weaknesses with their employees and to make specific recommendations. If employees challenge them, they cannot allow themselves to become offended or defensive. Get with the program. A good performance management system clearly establishes corporate and individual objectives, values, action plans, expectations and standards of measurement. Everyone in the company, from the top down, must understand performance management, how it works and whom it benefits. Upper management must convey to the workforce the importance of the process. Managers and employees must learn that performance management is a fundamental corporate component that is not going away. When introducing performance management, you cannot work against the culture of the organization. Educating the workforce about the process will make it seem less intimidating. Arrange formal training sessions or workshops where employees can learn what performance reviews are, how to prepare for them, how to use feedback, how to solve problems and how to implement individual development plans. This kind of comprehensive overview of performance management, together with a free-ranging question and answer period, should allay most employees' fears. The elements of performance management. Performance management consists of 4 basic elements. 1. Planning. Setting an organization-wide strategy for enforcing competency standards and performance objectives. 2. Acting, implementing the strategy. 3. Monitoring. Checking to make sure everyone is following the plan. 4. Reviewing. Evaluating results to determine how to move forward. A defining characteristic of performance management is the importance attached to the integration or alignment of individual objectives with organizational objectives. Performance management is particularly important for retail businesses, in which customer service is almost as important as the number of products employees sell. A good performance management system enables retail supervisors to engage in meaningful interactions with their employees, and to reinforce organizational values and priorities. It communicates the importance of individual performance to the company. Establishing baseline competencies. Employees should understand what managers expect of them. Thus, a key element in the performance management process is establishing baseline competency requirements, which include employees' communication skills, adaptability, teamwork experience, leadership potential and problem-solving expertise, in addition to traditional technical and procedural skills. Employees should behave professionally at all times and treat every customer with respect. These kinds of broad, company-wide objectives must be understandable, relevant, measurable, attainable and challenging, yet not unrealistic. Employees, for their part, should have the opportunity to offer suggestions on how they can meet the objectives and achieve the competencies. Focusing on performance management as a means of deciding on pay awards may conflict with the developmental purposes of performance management. Once you've defined these baseline competencies and goals, you and your employee together can begin hammering out a performance agreement. List the specific objectives of the job. Set goals. A willingness to own the responsibility for meeting objectives demonstrates the employee's initiative and maturity. The performance review. Once or twice a year, managers and employees should sit down to assess the employee's performance and collaborate on ways to improve it in the future. Both parties generally feel a little apprehensive about these kinds of formal reviews. Employees fear the session will focus on the negative, while managers are concerned about confrontations. If the manager is not particularly adept at one-on-one conversation, the situation becomes even more uncomfortable. However, if the employee and the manager are involved in ongoing performance management, they will have met informally several times throughout the year. The formal review will contain no surprises. Willing participation in performance management activities is more likely to be achieved if managers do not see it as a bureaucratic chore. Because managers are in a position of authority and have the upper hand, they must take responsibility for setting the proper tone for the review and making employees comfortable. They should do the following. 1. Set aside at least an hour, maybe even 2, for the meeting. 2. Encourage employees to speak their minds by asking open-ended questions. 3. Cite specific, documentable incidents and avoid using an accusatory tone. 4. Choose their battles and focus on critical issues. Although performance management is a continuous process, it is still necessary to have a formal review once or twice yearly. Nitpicking will put employees on the defensive. Even if criticism is necessary, managers should first provide positive feedback. The session should end with a constructive strategy for the future. How can companies ensure that managers conduct reviews professionally and produce fair and accurate accounts of employees' performance? Try conducting a confidential survey asking employees for honest feedback about the performance management process. Ask such questions as: 1. Did the manager do a good job during the review? 2. How can he or she improve? 3. Did you experience positive or negative feelings after the review? 4. Has the manager helped you develop your skills and instructed you in how you can become a more efficient worker? The ratings game. Although performance management focuses on the future, you still need quantitative, baseline standards to measure progress. Yet, evaluation is inherently subjective. It depends on the manager's perceptions, the judgment of character and the standards they associate with a particular job. Assessment is a necessary and inevitable performance management activity, but it is one of the most difficult ones to get right. Traditional rating scales, which assign letters or numbers to categories in descending order, are the most popular kinds of assessment tools. For example, A indicates exceptional, C is average and E is unsatisfactory. Other scales use definitions: exceeds expectations, meets job requirements, or unacceptable. You can use from 3 to 6 levels, depending on the level of precision you desire. A well-conducted review meeting provides quality time, in which individuals and their managers can discuss matters affecting work and future developments. Forced distribution and forced ranking are more controversial. In forced distribution, managers must include a predetermined number of employees in each category. In forced ranking, they must rate their employees from best to worst and then terminate the bottom 10%. Theoretically, this system consistently weeds out the lowest performers while forcing the other employees to improve. Coaching plans can and should be incorporated into the personal development plans set out in a performance agreement. 360-degree feedback, a fairly recent innovation in performance management. 360-degree feedback has become popular in the past few years. It involves assessing an individual using information from multiple sources. For example, when evaluating a salesperson, you would solicit feedback from his or her immediate superior, co-workers and customers. This kind of feedback is beneficial because employees receive a clear picture of how others perceive them. It reinforces their strengths, enables them to work on their deficiencies, and enables you to align corporate and personal objectives. This system is also a good instrument for evaluating mid- and upper-level managers, who often have no idea how their employees feel about them. The best method of monitoring and evaluation is to ask those involved, managers and individuals, how it worked. Obtain data for 360-degree evaluations with questionnaires that ask about organizational skills, talent, determination, creativity, communication, flexibility and other relevant categories. Respondents provide ratings from 1, poor, to 5, excellent, and may include written comments. The benefits of 360-degree evaluation include: 1. It opens lines of communication. 2. It identifies areas that need improvement. 3. It raises self-awareness. 4. It clarifies goals. Improving individual performance happens at the organizational level. It is about developing a performance culture, providing leadership, creating the right working environment and generally adopting the big idea. However, like most systems, 360-degree evaluation has pitfalls as well, including: 1. Top management may not support it. 2. The company as a whole may not be committed to it. 3. People may fail to give honest feedback. 4. Workers may feel uncomfortable accepting feedback. 5. Managers may fail to use the information to plan a course of action. Getting buy-in. Everyone in the organization has a role to play in performance management. 1. Top managers set the tone and convey the importance of the initiative. 1. If performance management is important to the executives, it will become important to everyone else. 2. Line managers are responsible for implementing the program. 2. However, performance management requires line managers to acquire special skills, such as communication. 2. That can be a problem in organizations that have used only performance appraisals in the past. 2. Some line managers may require coaching or training. 3. Human resource specialists were traditionally responsible for performance reviews and their attendant paperwork. 3. They must now share their know-how with line managers. 4. Employees must understand that everyone in the company is participating in the performance management program. 4. Pay raises and promotions may depend in part on an employee's willingness to approach performance management with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. Takeaways. 1. Performance management is not the same as performance appraisal. 2. Performance management focuses on future performance. 3. Use your performance management system to motivate employees. 4. Employees need and want direction. 5. Employees are not always to blame for poor performance. 6. Continuous feedback is the key to the system. 7. Monitor performance throughout the year. 8. Performance management is a collaboration between manager and employee. 9. As much as you try, your assessments of your employees will never be objective. 10. Consider behavior and technical knowledge when evaluating performance.